Hi, this is Karen White of Divine Time Astrology, and today I'm here with Neeshee.Pandit again, and we are going to be talking about the sign of Libra. So thank you, Neeshee, for doing this with me again.
Sure, happy to be here, Karen.
Okay, so we're going to start with the description of Libra in Brihat Parashara Hora Shastra, which is it's an ancient document that Vedic astrology is basically based on. That and many other documents, but this is a main one. Okay, so Libra, it means the balance scale. It's front rising. The balance scale is rich in vigor during the day. Blue, endowed with Rajas. Western, moving on land. Killing, destroying. A Sudra, medium-bodied, two-footed, and ruled by Venus. Wow. So, yeah. So that's the basic description. So now we're going to go through the various aspects of the sign. So because we start with the body parts, and you're an Ayurveda practitioner, Neeshee. So would you like to take the body parts? Because this one's there's a little bit more to it than the previous signs we've done.
Sure. So Libra corresponds to the pelvic triangle. As we've discussed in the previous signs, that every sign rules a certain area of the body. If we were to map the zodiac from head to toe on the human body, Libra is the pelvic triangle, or simply the pelvis. So it corresponds to the bladder, because the pelvis is holding the bladder. It corresponds to the terminating end of the large intestine. It corresponds to the sacrum, which is the backside of that same area. Mm-hmm. So those are the main points that Libra relates to. So it has to do with, the bladder, it holds a waste product, which is urine. The large intestine is also associated with waste product. So Libra is about being able to eliminate, the things that are not usable to us, the things that don't have value for us, the things that don't bring us balance, but that is balancing when they're eliminated. So we'll see again and again that this overarching concept gets articulated in different ways, but that's the meaning of this correlation.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, that also indicates why Libra is considered to be the most successful business person. Mm-hmm. Because they're capable of the best decisions. It's right, they're weighing and measuring what is valuable and what isn't, what's worth it.
Exactly.
So,
what's worth holding on to and what's just waste.
Exactly. And what they're willing to make sacrifices for, the things that are sacred, that they're willing to make sacrifices for. Okay, so the next characteristic of Libra is that it is a movable or cardinal sign. Mm-hmm. And the movable signs create change. They're action-centered. They begin the seasons, and Libra begins the fall. And as the name implies, it creates movement. So movable signs are creative and pioneering because they begin a season, though they lack consistency. And they would, because that's what they're there to do, is to start things, right? It's the fixed signs that take over and maintain it and develop it. And Libra, in particular, is about change as a result of new opportunities. Okay, so would you like to take the gender of the sign?
Sure. So Libra is a male sign. And, we've discussed the male and the female qualities to the signs in the previous videos, and this is the same idea, that the male signs are action-oriented, they take initiative, they exert themselves, they're about creating something, whereas the feminine signs are receptive and about being open to something flowing into them. Libra is about making choices, making the choices of balance, following what one is passionate about in a balanced way. It's about doing something. It's not a receptive quality. It's a creative quality. It's something that has to be exercised, in other words. In order to balance something, you need to be able to discriminate between what's usable, what's not usable. You need to be able to eliminate what's not usable. You need to be able to absorb what is usable. All those functions require activity. So Libra is an active sign in that regard. I mean, this kind of goes hand in hand with its movable qualities.
Right. And so what do you want to say, too, about the houses? Because it's interesting how the signs correlate to the houses in the chart. Right.
So Libra is associated with the Kama houses, okay? So these are the houses of desire, you know, in terms of the four aims of life. You know, Kama is desire. So that's the 3rd, the 7th, and the 11th houses. So Libra especially has a relationship to those domains, 7th, the 3rd, and the 11th, because they're Kama houses, desire. So Libra is in a large way governed by its desire for balance, its desire for an even exchange between things.
Yeah, because it's ruled by Venus.
That's right.
Yeah.
By Venus.
And then because it's a male sign, it's also considered to be a cruel sign. And cruel just means that it's focused on getting things done. And so it's harder and pushier. It can be. And Libra is focused on working out how to experience the best possible things it can experience in life. And it doesn't want to involve itself in those things that are not conducive to those goals. And I had a client actually ask me about this one time. She said, well, why is Libra considered to be cruel when it's ruled by Venus? Mm-hmm. And so, for instance, if somebody is really intent upon improving their status in society, for instance, they will not associate with people who they consider to be of the status that they don't want to be associated with. So they'll only associate with people of the status they want to be. And so that will come off as cruel. And we tend to call them social climbers, you know, like it's a derogatory thing. But really, it's the Libra function. It helps you to be in the right place at the right time for the best opportunities. So I think that's what that means. What do you think of that?
Yeah, no, I think that's good because, you know, Libra is a common sign for politicians.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
I mean, you'll often see presidents having Libra ascendant or sun in Libra or something, you know.
Yeah.
Even the sun is debilitated in Libra. Still, you'll see some self factors with Libra and Leo, but Libra is always in there, you know, especially the diplomatic types.
Yeah, Clinton, he had Libra rising. I think he had Venus there. Didn't he? Venus and Mars or something?
I can't remember.
Mars. It was Venus and Mars. Yeah, that's because every woman in America after he was, not every woman, but a lot of women, including myself, after he was elected, dreamed about him.
Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Well, it's also, you know, just going more on that cruel quality that can be a little hard to grasp. Your example is good, Karen, because also if you look at people like politicians, what they have to engage in to win, like look at campaigns. Like they always end up tearing down their opponent. They always end up slandering or somehow showing people that this is a bad guy, you know, he lied about this, he's not a good person even. I mean, it's like you have to get a little bit cruel. The debate, you watch the debates, people go at it, you know. They're looking to climb. They want to get into the highest office they can. So, you know.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, so now the Pitta Kapha Vata. You want to take that? That's your domain.
So Libra is associated with Vata primarily because it's an air sign, and Vata is made up of air and space elements. So this is part of the motion that we've been describing in Libra. You know, Libra is active. Libra is generating things. Libra is discriminating between things. Libra is making choices. Wherever we're looking at activity or motion, we're talking about air. See, now the fire signs also have motion, but it's a transformative activity. It's digestion. It's transformation. Libra is more about simply the motions itself. You know, it's like there's a lot of activity in Libra.
And also because of where it is, too, with the time of year that it represents.
Right.
And it's choosing the best option when the time of change is happening. So in the fall. So, yeah, you could apply that to
it's also a Vata quality.
What is?
Vata is associated with change. So if people, you know, are going through a lot of changes, it's always said in Ayurveda that change will create stress, you know, unless you have like a strong immunity.
Mm.
So if people are having Vata imbalance, you always want to stabilize them. You want them to basically not move too much. You want them to feel nourished where they are. You don't want them to change jobs at that time. You don't want them to move to a new place. You don't want to create too much air element, that's going to make them more stressed out. So
Exactly.
that's part of it.
Okay, now the elements, it's really related to Vata.
It
So
is.
there are subtle differences, but it's the air element, and air signs are characterized by intelligence and curiosity. So that makes them intellectually centered. And intellect is the part of the mind which can arrive at understanding through logic and rational means. But because it's intellect, there's always reasons for disagreement. And Libra has the capacity to understand the worth and the value of something or some situation, and it uses its intellect to understand what it's getting, doing, or getting involved in. Again, which goes right back to business, right? They're so good at deciding, well, I don't know if joining this particular business group is really going to be worth my time, my energy, my money. And so they'll make decisions based on that, and they're much more likely to join a business group where the entrance fee is high because they want to be with other people who will help to lift them up. And so that it may not look good to you, but if you understand what they're doing, then it's something that you can actually admire.